Al Tonn was a man that made all the environments he was in better places. His career choice was ag production. Al always looked for progressive ways to improve this traditional means of making a living. He carefully protected the land to pass on to future generations.
When he planted corn, I had never seen anybody plant corn rows that straight. I remember being in awe of him. He would stand up on the floor of the tractor and sight down the field, whether it was a mile or a half mile. And when the corn came up, you could draw a straight edge.
Well, my dad, of course, was a proud farmer. He took pride in his farming operation. He loved to drive the corn planter straight. He loved to have clean crops and good yields. He loved his Hereford cattle and was proud of his cow-calf operation.
To his family, he was totally devoted. Al role modeled principles that extended into the lives they live today.
And I could always depend on him knowing exactly what to do.
My dad modeled good behavior, both as a father. He taught us to be patient and to be kind and to take pride in our work.
One of the things I learned from him, if it's worth doing right.
To the community, he was a leader. Al Tonn sought to make things better, delighting in the talents of others. He liked to figure things out. The more challenging the issues, the better.
My dad wanted to give back to the community. I think he appreciated being involved with other groups and talking with committees, kind of wrestling with community problems and helping figure things out that would make the community better.
He was a forward thinker. He liked to try new ways of doing things. He was not afraid to try new projects.
These three focuses in life received the best from Al: family, farming, and serving the community. His passion to serve his fellow community residents set him apart. Stevens County became a better place because of Al Tonn. He was born on October 9, 1931, to Herbert and Emma Weidler Tonn. Herb and Em had grown up in Hodges Township and had become friends as young people. Their courtship held fast through a variety of adventures Em wanted to try, including working in the big city of Minneapolis. Herb worried about her welfare and would check on her from time to time. By the end of 1928, Em was ready to settle down. They eloped on January 1, 1929, getting married in the church they both attended, St. John's Lutheran in Hancock. 2 years later, first son Alan was born. Additional children were added to the family in a period that stretched from 1931 to 1947. First came the three boys, Alan, Richard, and Jean. Then two girls, Janice and Joan. The family farmed near Hancock, Minnesota, in Hodges Township. Crops and cattle were the dominant production on this diversified farm. The land and the family's hard work provided a good living for them. Alan attended Hancock schools and graduated in 1949. After 1 year at North Dakota State University in Fargo, his studies were interrupted when he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. Al was in the military police in Korea and was also stationed in Japan. While there, he engaged in the climbing of Mount Fuji, a proud moment when he gained the summit. He returned home to Hancock with an honorable discharge issued on August 11, 1955. Now, nothing looked better than the family and the farm. The farm operation served as a multi-generational business. Herb Tonn had grown up on a successful farm, and he shared this knowledge of land stewardship and good farming practices with his family.
We had a large family operation divided up between my dad and his brother. So we had the three boys. My Uncle Gene had 2 boys, and of course the wives were all involved in the operation.
By 1961, Al and his younger brother Gene became farming partners. This partnership lasted for over 40 years and included their wives, Jo and Bev. The 2 couples were business partners and remained close throughout their lives. With many acres of cropland, the farm also included an excellent herd of Hereford beef cattle. Horses and Herefords were a favorite of Al's. His lifelong dream was to be a cattle rancher in Montana. As Hodges Township was a distance from Montana, herding the Herefords with the horses along the township roads sufficed. Allen's family of origin continued to be central in his life for both fellowship and the farming. But the magical spark of his own personal family life began when a city girl from Fargo, North Dakota, Joanne Marie Nybakken, was dragging Main Street in Morris, Minnesota, with a carload of friends. Al and his friends were doing the same thing. Joe had just moved to this rural county. The tall, handsome man with the ready smile and the petite, cute blonde met at the Pomme de Terre Golf Course and Supper Club later that evening. They both knew something special had occurred, and indeed it had, with a marriage that lasted 54 years. The wedding took place on September 22, 1956 in Fargo. Al always said he wanted a girl he could carry, and petite Joanne Nybakken certainly fit that description. After meeting Al, Joe continued to teach for 2 years, but soon was needed full-time on the farm.
I had a lot of help. I had a wonderful mother-in-law. Al was very patient and put up with my cooking until I learned how.
Joe credits her mother-in-law, M. Tonn, for being the best mentor a girl could ask for. M shared all her skills and know-how for living successfully on the land and being a partner farm wife. The city girl truly began to love her life in the country. The rancher and Al looked forward to the times that cattle were herded from pasture to pasture. Al rode a horse as good ranchers do, and Joe stood at critical locations to provide direction to the cattle with a gentle shoo, shoo.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do? You just stand there and you shoo. So
Al would say, "You don't shoo cattle, you shoo chickens. Yell yah at them." 3 sons were born to Al and Joe. James Allen arrived September 18, 1957. Jerry Eugene on April 18, 1960. And Gregory Dale, July 6, 1962. They joined the multi-generations in working hard and were taught to think for themselves. The together times stand out as the best of times.
The earliest memories that I have is he had an old Ford coupe that had this big bench seat in it and had musty smell to it. And we would drive around. He would take me here and there uptown and into Hancock and into Cyrus. But then shortly thereafter we got a blue pickup, what we called the Blue Cow pickup, because it had a decal of a Hereford bull on the side. And he would slide me over and put me in the middle of the bench seat. It was a 4-on-the-floor pickup. And he would allow me to shift the gears while he pushed in the clutch. And so that was a lot of fun.
Jerry and Jim both remember the breaks from hard work to vacation to far-off sites. Jim was already in college when the family faced their biggest personal tragedy and challenge. Youngest son Greg was 15 when he died in a farm accident caused by a health condition of reoccurring seizures. The date was August 11, 1977. Their family principle of pulling together and their faith carried them through. The Tonn family attended St. John's Lutheran Church in Hancock, Minnesota for generations. Al was baptized and confirmed at this church and was a lifelong member, taking leadership roles in a number of ways. He and Joe raised their sons with this church as their faith family. Along with the standard of working hard, Al taught his family to take time for pleasures and enjoyment. Traveling was a remembered pastime for the young family and also enjoyed by Al and Joe once the family was raised. Their sons had relocated to Texas, so that became a destination for winter months and to visit the two grandchildren, Adam and Sarah, who lived in Dallas. Al also enjoyed sports. He was a loyal supporter of the Minnesota teams, particularly the Minnesota Twins and the Vikings. He rather enjoyed the talents of the Hancock girls basketball team as well. While growing up, Al had frequented the Lakeside Ballroom in nearby Glenwood, Minnesota. When they were first married, he introduced Joe to this energetic form of leisure. Soon they had joined a Sunday afternoon ballroom dancing group. As Sons of Norway members in the Stevens County Norskfjut Lodge, they became part of a Norwegian folk dance group that performed at regional and local events. This group was always an audience favorite and a spectacular way to showcase this heritage. The Tonn farming business always had an airplane. Al was a pilot of the Cessna 150 and absolutely loved flying. In fact, this man was always looking for a new adventure. Adventure-seeking, as well as an interest in doing new things, led brothers Al and Gene into an unlikely enterprise. They tried fish farming. As traditional farmers, they knew how to grow things, and growing fish worked out just fine. Marketing the fish for this venture, however, did not work out so well. The customers wanted the fish fresh, not frozen. The geographics of raising tilapia in Hancock, Minnesota for fresh fish marketing was not easily met. It lasted only 2 years, but was another example of raising the bar on possibilities. People knew that Al was a forward thinker and not one bit afraid to try new things. This led to many opportunities to share these traits with others. He fulfilled many community services, all with extraordinary leadership and exceptional humility. Locally, he was a board member of the Morris Area School Board, the Hodges Township Board, and the St. John's Lutheran Church. Regionally, he was a 12-year chair to the Independent Farmers Ag Service from 1998 to 2010. In 1978, he became a hospital board member at Stevens Community Hospital. By 1980, he was nominated chairman and began a campaign to establish the hospital as a nonprofit organization, which did happen in 1984. His leadership for this important facility to citizens of the area spanned 31 years. He was chair for 22 years and vice chair for 4. Al sought and provided integrated health care as a final outcome. This resulted in the merger of the Morris Medical Center and the Stevens County Memorial Hospital. During his leadership era, a new clinic was built in 1998 and a new hospital in 2008. Al and Joe began to think about retirement and plan many new adventures together. They purchased a retirement home 6 miles north of Pelican Rapids on Lake Lizzie and sold the farm site in 2005. They planned many trips to visit their family and some rest-filled years to enjoy each other. Sadly, these plans were cut short by cancer. Al made this challenge another example for his family and friends.
He was very strong in faith, and he wasn't scared that I know of that he ever showed. I heard a quote from Billy Graham supposedly said here a few years ago, I'm not scared of death. It's that whole dying thing that kind of got me worried. And I think that was my dad.
He faced his own mortality with dignity and courage, leaving a legacy that will not be undone. Al Tonn's life is remembered for the vitality of that life, for his excellence in whatever he did, for his love and commitment to his family, for his progressive and thoughtful consideration in problem solving. His legacy remains, leaving all the environments he was part of better places.